Travis Nash here. Going to talk to you about some health. Get you healthy. I've done a lot of research on health, eating right, what kind of exercises work, weightlifting, as well as cardio, and a lot about it. Like I said, a lot about eating. People like to ask me questions, my friends and family, because they know how much research I've done on what kind of interest I have in it, and and it's funny because people, I don't know, it's funny because people seem to ask kind of silly questions when it comes to this type of thing, and it's really quite simple. You eat right, you exercise, and stick with it. What else can I say besides that? Those are the things you need to do if you're going to be successful in a diet, in any weight loss system, in any muscle building system. I had a friend ask me once, what's the perfect diet? Well, there's really no right answer to that question because everyone's different. So my answer to that question would be, lots of fresh fruits. Don't eat canned fruits because people like to put syrup in them, and even if there's not syrup, there's still the chance of other unhealthy things being in there. Things that would cause disease, or could possibly, ingredients that I'm not able to think of the word right now that I want to use, but basically artificial flavoring and coloring. Canned fruits are infamous for being colored and having food coloring. You don't need that kind of stuff inside your body. You just don't. So I would say fresh fruits, vegetables you can take either way. A lot of people say that you'll lose a lot of the nutrition if you have frozen vegetables because you're boiling them in a pan. And yeah, you do lose some of the nutrition, some of the things that are very healthy for you are left in the water or the pan that you end up pouring down the drain ultimately. But first of all, it still has some things in it that are good for you, obviously. They're frozen upon being picked, so they don't have a lot of the nasty things that fresh fruits that you get in the store have. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't eat fresh fruits. I'm just saying that you need to know what's what. And even though people say that this stuff is bad for you, or maybe indifferent for you, is what I should say, it has no benefit, but also has nothing bad for you. Well, it does have benefit for you, even though some of the stuff is poured down the drain, some of the stuff that's good for you, some of the nutrients. It still has more nutrients than a lot of the other stuff that you're going to eat. And what else are you going to eat besides frozen vegetables? Pizza, mashed potatoes, French fries. I don't know whatever your eating habits are, but basically, it doesn't matter. This is still going to be better for you than 90% of of the other things that you'll eat. And they have carbs in it for you. A lot of people think you have to eat bread to get carbs. It's just not the case. If you do eat bread, yeah, obviously make sure it's whole grain, whole wheat, but you don't have to have bread to get those carbs you need. You can get carbs from any number of other things. Yogurt. You can get carbs from fruit. You get carbs from, especially carbs from bananas. Very high, good carbs for you. You can get carbs from protein shakes and protein drinks. I would recommend protein powders like whey protein powder, or EAS protein powder, or Shakeology. Any of those things would work, and you get carbs from that. They're good carbs. And you don't have to load up on bread every meal. And if you need, obviously days when you're lifting weights or doing, almost an excessive amount of cardio, like if you're doing a program like Insanity or a program like P90X where you're really exerting yourself, then yes, you need those things. You need something that is going to stick with you, like carbs. It's going to give you some energy. Yeah, some fiber in it. But to have like every single day, multiple meals, you don't really need that because you can find carbs in other things. And of course, just cut out the nasty stuff, refined sugars, candies, and sodas. You don't need that stuff. does your body no good. In fact, does it harm obviously in the long run. You don't need it. Um, and other than that, I would really say just try to keep everything fresh. As far as meat goes, you need protein. I met a guy once who he was extremely strong, very ripped, all kinds of shredded up, and he didn't eat meat. He literally did not eat meat. Um, and so I sort of took after that a little bit and started something here. That's pretty good. That's it's not great. Could that be tighter? Yeah, that could be better looking, obviously, but it's good size. I'm only 16. I've been working out for about a year, so that's pretty good. I was fat when I started, literally. I was obese a few years ago, and I started working on this. And been lifting weights for just a little bit of time. Could that be bigger? Yeah. Could it be tighter? Yeah. Of course it could. You can always improve yourself physically. But I'm just saying this. I eat meat once a day. One time a day, that's it. People think you need to have meat with every meal. No. You can find protein in other sources. Cottage cheese, eggs, high protein cereal. There's protein in a lot of other stuff that you can have. Beans, which are good carbs for you and high in protein, low in fat. And, when I do have a meat, I try to keep it simple. Try to keep it a chicken breast. Very, very lean. Very little fat on that, but a lot of protein. You're looking at 30 plus grams of protein for one chicken breast and maybe 5 grams of fat the most. Or tuna, which generally has about, or any kind of fish really, which would have generally, little fat. I'm talking about like maybe no fat to, it won't have no fat, but I'm talking about like 0.1 grams type of little fat here. You're getting hardly any calories from fat here. But fat isn't all bad either. I would recommend you eating your meat. Yeah, that's going to be kind of bad fat. I like to take it this way. Well, first of all, eat nuts. That's good for you. If you want to have your toast in the morning, your bread. I didn't condemn bread. I just said you don't need it with every meal. But if you want to have some bread, yeah, put some almond milk on it. Or almond butter, excuse me. Put some peanut butter on it. Put some Nutella, which is a hazelnut butter spread. Put that on there. Much better for you than putting jelly, which is not good. All it is sugar. It's just something you just don't need it. And those are other sources of protein, raw nuts and nut spreads. But also, fat is not all bad for you. Like I said, you need some fat in your diet because you just if you bring your if you bring your body fat down to 0, you're dead. It's just as simple. Professional athletes are still 5, 6, 7, 8% body fat. And that's impressive, and that's what you can get down to if you eat right. But before you eat something, you need to ask yourself, what benefit does this have to me? Before you put something in your mouth, literally ask yourself the question, what food value does this have? What benefit does this have to me physically? Does this help me out at all with my diet? Before you put that jelly on your sandwich thinking, well, it's just jelly. No, it's not just jelly. It's something that you're giving your body to run off of. And can you run off that? No. Jelly gives you nothing good. No good nutrient to run off of. Just don't have it. Put the peanut butter on a piece of bread. Yeah, sure. Have a little peanut butter sandwich. It's good in protein. Give you some energy before you work out. And you don't want to eat right before you work out. You want to eat about 20 minutes before. But fresh fruits, any kind of vegetables, any way you can get it. Meat once a day if you need it. And, of course, protein powder. And protein bars are okay too, but you definitely want to look at the package before you eat it because a lot of times they're kind of deceiving about how healthy they actually are. They say, hey, we've got a bunch of protein for you. Well, yeah, but sometimes they have other things in it that's not so great for you. They aren't so great for you either. So you need to check that out. And a lot of people say, I don't have to work out. I don't have the money to eat expensive. Well, you don't need a package with a big yellow sign on it that says, I'm healthy. You need to spend a little bit extra time in the grocery store looking at the nutrition facts. Okay? If what you're looking at has 17 grams of fat and 2 grams of protein, probably not healthy for you. You need to be smart about it. There are healthy fats, so don't cut fats out completely. If you're having carbs, make sure you're eating nothing but whole wheat and whole grain carbs. And of course, like I said, the meat. I just gave you a list of things that are healthy. Fruits and vegetables, any way you can get them, yeah, that's good. Um, Breads, whole grains, whole wheat, limited. If you and Of course, I gave you the meat options. You got chicken and any kind of fish, and any other piece of meat is really fine. But you just want to make sure you cut the fat off. As most pieces, pork will have, pork chop will have that little piece of fat on the edge. We'll cut it off. Don't eat it. Try to stay away from anything boxed, prepackaged, because that stuff is going to be higher in refined sugars. It's going to be the higher in all the bad things that you don't want, chemicals, things like that that you don't need. If you're going to have fresh vegetables, and while we're on the subject of chemicals, wash them. Make sure you are washing them because you don't want chemicals going all over the place getting inside your body. Wash it off. But just don't eat anything prepackaged. Crackers, while they advertise to be healthy, it's going to be higher in sodium, and it's just stuff that you don't need. What you need to tell yourself is if you can pick it or kill it, you should eat it. So, if it's a chicken, yeah, eat it because you can kill it. If it's a vegetable or fruit, yeah, fine, eat it because you can pick it. But make sure it stays in that basic form. It's going to be good for you. And I'm just on health here. I'm not even getting to exercise yet. That's going to be my next thing, okay? So, it's just great. The diet is 85% of your results. You can exercise all day, but if you have a crap diet, it's not going to work. Let me give you a very quick analogy. You get up in the morning, okay, and you don't have time to eat before you go to work. So maybe you skip breakfast, or maybe not that. Maybe you have pancakes. Let's say stop by McDonald's, got a little bit of extra time, Denny's, whatever, you're at home, eat pancakes. Well, what can pancakes most easily be compared to out of any food in the world? Birthday cake. Congratulations. You just had yourself three slices of birthday cake, syrup and butter all over it. Way to go. Maybe you had milk. Let's say you had milk. Give yourself the benefit of the doubt here. You had milk. Well, you go through lunchtime. What do you have? Well, you had to leave the office, get something. Let's say you go to McDonald's. You go through the drive-thru. You grab a small fry. Grab a double cheeseburger and a Coke. Let's say it's Diet Coke, shall we? And Diet Coke isn't bad for you, but it's indifferent. It doesn't help you out. It has nothing good in it for you, even though it doesn't necessarily have anything bad. Nothing good either. And of course, you got about 30 grams of fat in that double cheeseburger, and about another 20, 25, 30 in these fries. So now you're at lunch, and you've had nothing good all day. Nothing of any nutritional value except maybe the milk. And maybe you didn't even accept the milk. And the milk is healthy, but maybe you didn't even have milk. Maybe you had coffee. Not good for you. Not bad for you necessarily, except for all the creamer and sugar you put in there. But no balance. Nothing decent. Well, it's lunchtime, you need a snack. Or you're getting towards dinner time, you need a snack right before you leave the office. Well, grab a bag of potato chips out of the breaker. Congratulations, there's something else that is healthy for you. And then you go home. Well, you're busy, you gotta pick the kids up. Let's just get some carry out from the Chinese diner, or let's get some pizza. You've eaten nothing good all day, and you wonder why you feel sluggish, you wonder why you feel like crap. It's because you're eating like crap. You literally are what you eat. It's an overused phrase, and it sounds bad. It sounds corny, but you are literally what you eat. And if you're eating like crap, you're going to feel like crap. You're going to feel sluggish, and the average American diet is about like what I just told you. It's pretty much how it is. Frozen waffle in the morning, off to work, McDonald's for lunch, or McFatties, I like to call it, and then pizza at dinner, and then what's your snack at night? Well, I don't know, whatever. There's a bowl of cereal, which may or may not be a healthy cereal. You see how it can be easy to go through the day without really feeding your body anything of nutritional value? You're robbing your body, and it's not going to run properly. You need that, because you need energy left to give to your friends and loved ones, and family. Health. Keep it up, or start it. This is just dieting. We'll get to exercise next.